Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of the Osasu Show. The agitation for a new constitution, restructuring, and an atmosphere for tangible change has been palpable in recent times as the National Assembly embarked on the 1999 constitutional review. Although some Nigerians have called for a complete scrap of the 1999 constitution as amended and the drafting of one which they feel will be a true representation of the Nigerian people and their current realities, some others are of the opinion that drafting a new constitution will be a difficult path to thread and cannot be guaranteed. On today's episode of the Osasu Show, we take to the streets to sample the opinions of everyday Nigerians on whether an amended constitution or a brand new one will be the answer to Nigeria's challenges. Don't go anywhere, it promises to be a very insightful episode. North to South Africa, East to West Africa, DSTV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOSTV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
As the Nigerian National Assembly kickstarts the process of amending the 1999 Constitution, some are of the opinion that an amendment remains the best means of ensuring the major issues with the current constitution are addressed.
It is a known fact that the current constitution is very sick. It's sick in such a way that it does not cover the interests of every citizen of this country. But scrapping the constitution right now will never be the best option. But I believe the constitution could be amended to capture all the interests of every citizen of this country. But with the presence of the people we have in our parliament today, I don't see them doing that one in a jiffy. It's going to take a lot of process, it's going to take a lot of planning, and it's going to take a lot of time. So we need some people that are capable to do it. We need people that have the interest of the masses at hand to be in the parliament before that could be done. Not the people that are there because of their own selfish interest, because of their family, because of their pocket, that don't have the interest of the constituency they are representing at heart. So I believe with time, if you have the right people in the right place, the good people in our parliament, amending the constitution is the best option. So I have to carry everybody along.
The National Assembly should listen to Nigerian cries. Nigerians are crying, and we are asking that what is happening here today, they should come and see the crop of loyalty. Should the people who are coming to join the bar, that have been called to the bar, the constitution requires serious amendment. Okay. We need not the kind they are going. If I should suggest, we should go into constituent assembly more, because they are not by whatever National Assembly. We know that they are elected by the people, but they are not listening to the voice of the people. If I elect you, you represent my constituency, you should listen to us. We said they should amend the constitution according to our wish and our desire.
There's no need scrapping the constitution and writing a new one. We should work with what we have. Like the 1979 constitution, if we go through that constitution very well, we discover that it contains so much that is very good for Nigeria. When it came to the 1999 amendment, some amendment was just done to favor a section and leave the other out. And if you look at it critically again, in the history of Nigeria, if we go memory lane, discover that before 1960, before independence, what we were operating on was far richer than what we even have by our own self. So I want to suggest there's no need scrapping. Just work with what you have and stick to the directives of the Constitution.
Even when the Jesus Christ came to the world, he said he did not come to cancel the law of Moses rather than to come and amend it. So it's better we amend it. We should not stay put one place. It's good to be amended.
Whatever we want to do as a country has to be passed through some process. And already, even now, we have a National Assembly, a Senate, a House of Rep, and we have at the various 36 states, we have state assemblies. They are the representatives of the people. Whatever new structure you want to try and bring up has to pass through a process. Already we have a process. There's been some efforts now to amend again. This is not the first time it will be amended. So even though, yes, it would be nice to have a completely new, fresh, perfect document dropping from heaven, that's not going to happen. So let's begin to face reality on ground, that we know what we want. We know what the 1963 Constitution looked like. It's not that it was a perfect Constitution. There were inequality, but at least the issue of the federation, the federal nature of this republic was established there. And all we have to do is, as we're doing amendments, take us back to those levels. Those areas that have now become the exclusive reserve of the federal government, get them back to the concurrent aspect. Let the states take ownership of critical things like security, starting with the security and police. Any group of people that cannot secure themselves is not under any government. Government means primarily security, resource mobilization. Also, if the states are handicapped in generating resources for themselves, then what state do you have? What kind of federation do you have? So those critical aspects of security, of resource mobilization, resource control, those are the areas that any new constitution or amendments should draw back. So it's not an either or. It's either you have a fresh new constitution or nothing at all. No, the reality is we are together now. The reality is to start a process of trying to adopt a new constitution completely from scratch. It's going to be filled with all kinds of delays and challenges. You may, if you like, have that in the long term. Governance is an ongoing thing. We see even the United Kingdom, which colonized us. They are made of different countries. And even today, there are still groups that want to go off secede. Scotland wants to go off. But for now, they're together. They're still managing their affairs together. There's no perfect situation anywhere in the world. And so let us face the reality. Reality is whatever constitution we have. If you have horrible governance, if you have selfish, corrupt leaders, nothing will work. There's no constitution that works by itself. Constitution works as a result of the people. So let us have what we have. Politics is about being pragmatic. What we have now is a flawed constitution. Let's begin to amend it towards the act of being a federal republic as we were as an independence. We all know the status quo. What is the standard of being a real federation? Whatever it is that's impeding that in our constitution, in our governance, remove it. The most important thing is the observance of the rule of law by all parties, federal, state, local government. The rule of law should be upheld, enshrined. Otherwise, whatever constitution you have is just a book, it's just a bunch of paper. Let us establish, make sure that the rule of law is established. The court orders are followed. The human dignity, human rights are central to whatever we want to do as a country. So we should realize that amending the constitution is the most pragmatic way to go forward. Let us take it back as much as possible to the ideals and the objectives of the federal constitution, the Republic Constitution, 1963. But we should understand that to bring a whole new constitution from the sky ain't going to happen anytime soon.
On the contrary, others were of the opinion that amendment alone will not be enough. They, however, called for a complete scrapping of the current constitution and rewriting a new one, which expectedly will get input from all Nigerians.
If you look at the trend of life, you discover that there are things that we were doing years ago, and we cannot do those things again today. Look at the computer age we are now. There are things we were doing years ago, computer has taken over. And we can apply the same thing to the law we have in Nigeria today. Some of these laws were written, some of them were written by those who were supporting the military, who did not know about democracy. Honestly, if you check through the laws, you see that they were written by the force behind behind the military. So why should we continue to use that?
I don't subscribe to any issue, anybody talking about the amendment. Let them remove all these things completely and let us have people with a full understanding of what democracy is all about. Let them sit down and write out what we need to govern our society.
Every living thing evolve. And looking at the current trend of Nigeria now, and the wider world generally, there is always an improvement of anything. So when we're talking about constitutional amendment, it is something that's been long overdue. It is something that we need to do, because looking at a lot of things that we have in our constitution now, they are archaic, they are olden things. They are not meeting up with the current trends of the 21st century. I would say personally that it is best for us to have a total, an autonomous constitution. It means people's constitution. It is safe for us to discard entirely the current constitution that we have now and have our own. Because if you look at the preamble of the 1999 constitution as amended, it says, "We, the people of Nigeria." Now the question that comes to the fore is that, are we really the people that make the constitution? Is it our constitution? Does it suit our political and social historical background? So it's safe for us to have a new one. Unlike, amended it, because Lord Dennis says that we cannot place something on nothing and expect it to stand. Let us build our own constitution that we harness, that we suit, or that we integrate our culture, or believe our cultural values. So I think it's safe for that.
It is better for us to scrap it and a new constitution to be taken, because if you look very well, the situation of the country is like we are this country that you are residing now, that is my own country. We are behind the world. We are behind the world. What I mean behind the world, because if you check everything, we don't even have a freedom to exercise your feeling. And you have to, the way the situation that is going on in this country, some of us, we are scared. Even we're here now, we are scared because we don't know what might befall in terms of insecurity. So I have that strong belief, if we really want good governance, the new constitution should be written.
Well, the constitution, as a matter of fact, is very faulty. In my own opinion, I would suggest that we have a brand new constitution, because if you continue to amend, we will amend and amend all the time, So if we do a constitution where, like the preamble where they say "we the people," it will be truly "we the people," and not the one that some people did and say "we the people." So, my own opinion, I would say let us have a brand new constitution.
Well, I think Nigeria need a new constitution, that we have all the inputs of Nigerians and all the regions. The constitution that represents the desires of Nigerians, not the one given to us by some certain people, or some certain cabal somewhere. So I think Nigeria need a new constitution, and now is the time.
However, some opined that amending or rewriting a new constitution will do little to tackle the challenges on ground if factions continue to call for secession.
While some people believe that only a new constitution would save the situation, we in the North, or the coalition of northern groups, which represents a new thinking in northern Nigeria, are of the view that we need to have a nation first. We need to have a people that would agree to be one nation before we think of giving them laws, before we think of giving them a constitution, not to even talk of reviewing a constitution that is in dispute, that has been in dispute for several years. A lot of people have not even agreed with the origin of the constitution. Most critics say it's just handed over by the military. So nobody has confidence in the constitution as it is, the constitution that we are operating now. And I think the basis of this mistrust is that we have never sat down to determine a nation. Like we said, I mean, it's quite unrealistic to believe that we are one nation if for more than 60 years a section of the country had been insisting that it's not part of Nigeria. It wants to live the union. And I think the first mistake that was made was when the Southeast, or the people who attempted to secede in the 60s, were fought back into Nigeria. I think they would have been allowed peacefully, and by now the nation would have made progress. Biafra would have made progress, and the remaining parts of the country would have made progress. Now you can see for 60 years we live in mistrust, distrust, and we are really not convinced that reviewing the constitution or writing any other or restructuring any other system is going to be the way out. The way out should be for us to agree to a referendum. There is nothing wrong with that. Who wants to be a Nigerian? We can even question the name. This name Nigeria was given to us by the British. And a lot of African countries we have seen have dropped the colonial names and adopted their own native names. So I think we can subject the whole system to a comprehensive review by way of referendum. We rediscover the geography of the country, even the name of the country and the population. That's when we now start thinking of giving it a law. But where you have, for 60 years, we are not able to have someone to call a Nigerian president, apart from having it on paper. In practical terms, what we are having now is, as far as the South is concerned, a northern president. They are now struggling for a Yoruba president or Igbo president. So we have not yet had a Nigerian president, which is quite unfortunate. So let's have Nigeria first before we think of giving it a law.
He, however, added that until all parties involved agree to be Nigerians, amending or rewriting a new constitution will only lead to imposition of such document on those who are no longer interested in being Nigerians.
Nigeria has been in conflict ever since the amalgamation. Nobody really agreed to the amalgamation by the British, so it's not about the 99 constitution. We had several other constitutions that were disputed. We couldn't even hold a census for ourselves. So you can see it's not a question of rules or regulations. It's not about the constitution, whichever of the constitutions that we've had. It's about not being one. It's about not finding a nation. It's a question to do with nationhood. If we agree to be Nigerians, we may not necessarily even have to have a constitution, must we? If we agree to be one nation, I think the UK don't have a written constitution. They don't. They live, they live their life by conventions, and so I don't think something that is just in writing would be the problem of people who don't want to live together.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget and the budget they look, some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much you are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Show, and I am the People's Journalist. That's it for today's episode. Don't forget to follow us on social media at The Osasu Show, at TOS TV Network, at Osasu Show on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The 5th edition of the Osasu Show Symposium is just 2 weeks away. The theme is State of the Nation, the People's Constitution. It will be holding on August 16th at the International Conference Center, Abuja, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. The registration link is on your screen right now. Hurry up, go there and register. For those of you who will no longer be able to get seats to attend this program, you can also register to have a place online. We'll be participating with our online audience on that very day. All right, in the meantime, visit our website, tostvnetwork.com, to read news on sustainable development and current affairs across Africa. Until we come your way next week, keep practicing social distancing, keep washing your hands, keep wearing your face mask, because COVID-19 is still very much out there. All right, take very good care of yourself. God bless you.
As Africans, it became clear that we have no one to rely on but ourselves.
For the past 4 years, the Osasu Show Symposium has championed impactful conversations traversing the public and private sector. TOS Symposium in 2017 was themed The New Economy and Its Impact on Less Privileged Citizens.
If we want to address poverty, one critical element is infrastructure.
The president has also currently approved new railway lines that he has asked us to go and look for loans.
If you listen to the speakers, they talked about borrowing, credit, loan. It is our generation that would pay for that.
Unfortunately, we the leaders, myself inclusive, have failed this nation.
In 2018, the symposium was themed Nigeria Rising, It's Time, establishing social accountability between the electorate and leaders.
What we want in this country, let them do road. They have started. I can see Amechi there.
The first question is that they privatize. To who? To who?
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils. The common denominator in lesser of two evils is evil.
In 2019, the symposium was on the 21st century woman and a role in national development.
To go beyond what men are prepared to offer, the women must stand toe to toe and say, we have the capacity to make it happen for women.
We have been able to make the case that there is no way we can achieve any kind of development without the full and equal participation of women.
It's much more fundamental when you support a woman to get elected.
But we must ask ourselves, despite the enormity of the work they have done, how come we are still at 6.4% representation for women?
As a result of the global pandemic, the 2020 symposium was virtually held and focused on rethinking Africa in a bid to spur the continent's drive for economic growth in a globalized world with a paradigm shift perspective.
In the world in which we are, rethinking Africa means that we have to take a second look at Africa's possibilities in the world today.
It will start with political will.
In the democratic setting, these people are elected. It is very, very critical that you elect the right person.
Africa will be great.
And now, we bring to you the 5th edition of the Osasu Show Symposium, themed State of the Nation, the People's Constitution. Date August 16, 2021. Time 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Venue, the International Conference Center, Abuja. Don't miss it.
To register, visit tossymposiumv.eventbrite.com. Follow at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platforms.